Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. It has been a long time since I've done a video. It is October the 9th, I think, so it is Thanksgiving long weekend here in Canada. And as you can see behind me, the garden is completely dead. I got my first frost, I think about 2 weeks ago. It didn't kill everything. It wasn't a hard frost, but slowly but surely every day things have been dying. And now I think everything is dead except for the sweet peas over there still look like they're green, but all of the flowers are dead. Oh, there's a little chickadee there. I don't know if you can see it, but you might be able to hear it. So yeah, today I thought I would do a quick video of cleaning up the garden and getting it prepped for some garlic to plant in a couple of weeks, and yeah, just getting it ready so that next year is not a huge job for me. So I'm gonna start off with this bed here. This is my brassica bed this summer. So there are cauliflower and broccoli that I've let go to seed. I still have to collect these seeds, so I'm gonna do that. And then there's still some Brussels sprouts that I've left in because I wanted them to get their first frost, so I will harvest those as well. And then I'm basically just gonna chop and drop most of this stuff. And then I will kind of plant the garlic in between the things that I've dropped. That'll act like a little bit of a mulch for the garlic throughout the winter because we do have a pretty brutal winter here, so I just want to make sure that they're a little bit insulated. But yeah, for the most part, everything in this bed is going to go, and everything's going to be just chopped and dropped, and yeah, basically going to get this bed ready for garlic planting, and it'll be good to go for the spring next year too. So these brassicas, the stems on them have been so hard to cut through. I've had to use a saw, so please don't judge me. This is the only thing that I've been able to use so far that has worked. So these brassicas look pretty good. There is a little bit of caterpillar damage on these, but I've been just going through them and eating the ones that look good and discarding the ones that don't. Anything garden related, I think it's always important to just do what you can for the day. This garden is pretty big, so there's no way I'm going to be able to get through all of this today, but I'm going to try to do as much as I can in the next few hours, and then kind of chip away at it until we get our snow. And the thing is with gardening, if you don't get to it, it'll just be something that you have to deal with next year. It's not the end of the world. So if you're feeling overwhelmed like I always do at this time of the year, don't worry about it. Just get as much done as you can and then worry about it next year. It'll be the next year's problem. There are so many birds in the garden, it's great. So this one I'm not going to leave in yet. The seed pods are actually still green on this, surprisingly. So I'm going to let this dry out. Or I guess this one's dried out. So I'll use this and just kind of break it up and leave it in here. If I get a little volunteer broccoli, that's fine by me. Just trying to get as many of the weeds out though. So this one has a lot of seeds, so I will save all of these for next year. Just found some purple carrots. Things have been eating these, so I'm just going to leave those in here. Maybe I'll get some seeds from those next year. This one also has a lot of dried seed pods, so I'm going to put this one over here to collect those seeds too. So that wasn't too bad. This is what it looks like. I don't know if you can see behind me there. So I like the chop and drop method because you're adding organic matter back into your garden and it's way less work for you. You don't have to worry about moving any of your plants. You just literally cut them at the base, let the roots rot in the ground, which is obviously going to be organic matter that you're adding to the soil, and then just let the tops compost essentially over the winter. And this, in theory, will be mostly composted by the spring. Sometimes, depending on what your plants are, it might take a little bit longer. Like corn, for example, I find it does not compost over the winter, but these will at least be a little bit composted over the winter time. So this bed is mostly done, but I do have to grab these hoops and put those away first. I'm also looking for these little metal prongs that I use to hold down the netting in this bed. Just want to make sure I put everything back so I have a good amount of stuff for next year. I thought I saw one more metal prong in here. If I don't find it now, I'll probably find it when I am planting garlic. I don't see it. I'm really sad to say this, but these sunflowers also need to come down. I want to make sure that the asparagus and all the cold hardy stuff or perennial stuff, they're able to get a lot of sunlight in the spring. and even a little bit of sunlight right now in the fall. The birds are loving these sunflowers at the moment. I think most of the seeds have been eaten off though, so I'm not too concerned about cutting them down. Plus we have about 3 more batches of sunflowers throughout the garden that they can get seeds from. So I'm going to start cutting these down. I don't know if you can see the chickadee up there. Hopefully you can see it. I feel bad cutting these down, but they need to come. Who knew a garden saw was such a handy tool? I'm going to use this to cut these down. And these I'm not chopping and dropping, I'm just going to put them in the compost pile. This one does not want to come down. There we go. And I of course want to say this, it is important to leave your garden a little bit messy. It's good for all the beneficial insects that we like to see in the garden in the summertime. It's good of course for the birds too, so try to leave things as long as you can. I think I might leave some of the sunflowers for the birds, like the ones in the far distance there, because clearly they're getting stuff from it. So I might leave those ones. These ones have been done for a while, so that's why I feel okay clearing these ones out. But yeah, there's so many things that are good for the natural wildlife in your garden, or in your yard, if you leave your garden messy. I just love watching the birds. I'm also cleaning up things like my little bee bath and water bath. It has a bunch of marbles in it, so I don't want to spill those. And my rain gauge. if you take these things out of your garden, they will last longer, especially if you have a harsh winter like we do. So because I'm chopping and dropping most things in the garden, I'm not worried too much about pulling things up right now, but I am going to try to pull out the big stuff that would probably break the whippersnipper. So like any trellises, any posts, like beam posts, any tomato cages. I'm going to try to pull all of those out right now. I also have to take out the irrigation that I put in and did not use. So that's also something I'm going to pull up so that the whippersnipper doesn't destroy that. But I am debating whether I want to take out all of these trellises. Last year I left the trellises up and they were fine throughout the winter, but I'm debating whether I want to do that this year. So please let me know if you take yours down and if there's a reason to, pros and cons. I think it's easier just to keep them up, especially if they're in the spot that I'm going to keep them next year. It definitely does make it easier. But I'm also wondering, like, if I keep them in this arched position, does that ruin them? Do they not last as long? So let me know what you guys do. I'd love to hear any advice. So I just pulled up the irrigation in that bed, and let me tell you, it's not a fun job. Because in the spring, I put the irrigation down, then I mulched everything, And then of course the grass grew really long. The plants are now wild. It's really hard to pull out the irrigation. I've probably lost like multiple little pieces of the irrigation in the beds right now, so I'll probably have to wait till the spring to find those. Or maybe after I whip or snip I might be able to find some of them, but I don't know what the solution to this would be, if it's better to irrigate on top of your mulch, but then it seems like the mulch would absorb most of the water. I know that it should trickle down if you're watering enough, but I don't know if I will do this again. I'm not really sure what the best option would be. I'm just hoping that maybe next year we get as much rain as we did this year, because that was nice. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I will post a garlic planting video in the next coming week, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. Again, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Have a great week in the garden if you're still gardening. I'm jealous.